Yeah. Brian Richter was standing next to him during dove season. Somebody asked Brian Richter, "Is that your dad?" Brian's older than Justin is.
Jesus, Murphy.
All right, here we go. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Boom, and welcome to the Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by Shot Shells, those evil geniuses. We got two of them in here today with us, and the world famous Andy Shaver.
What did you say? What did you say there?
The evil geniuses from Boss Shot Shells. They are evil geniuses.
I don't know that you said Boss Shot Shells. I think you had another one of those mini strokes that you get during the introduction.
Boss Shot Shells with Dirk and Zach.
There you go. Somebody drinking the fucking doorbell.
What the hell is that cuckoo?
Cisco's here with the food.
No, I'm going to see what this is, though.
God.
It's that guy you just sent to prison for 10 years.
It's what? I don't know what kind of bourbon this is.
Looks good.
Looks like the good kind of bourbon. Oh, that's nice.
That's Carlos.
What's up?
That's Carlos.
Carlos.
Carlos, what are you doing? Are you serious? Carlos became a U.S. citizen 3 days ago.
Congratulations.
buddy.
That's a big deal.
And he shot a deer yesterday.
That's a really big deal. That's what it's all about.
He was he's been a U.S. citizen less than a week, and
he's
fucking killing deer and like shooting geese, like he's fucking living it up.
Love it.
He's Filipino, and Carlos kind of threw us off.
Yeah, that's a curve.
Carlos from the Philippines. So, you know.
True.
It is what it is. But yeah, he's excited. He's a U.S. citizen now. Did you know that about Carlos?
What?
He's a U.S. citizen, like of 3 days ago.
You just Carlos U.S. citizen 3 years ago, or
3 days.
3 weeks ago.
Congratulations, man! The best country in the world. They'll fuck your eyeballs out if you don't watch them.
Took 7 years, but I got it.
You did.
You finally got
I'm
it.
proud of you, man.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Don't vote for Biden, though.
Hey, if anything, I got my first deer. I feel like I'm American baptized.
There you go.
That's true.
That's
a good
awesome,
take.
man.
That's a really good take.
Yeah.
Actually.
There goes Carlos from the Philippines.
There goes Carlos from the Philippines.
Going to shoot a fucking pig.
Going to shoot a pig.
What you think about that?
He's just going to do it all.
That's right. What he said. I feel like a real American. I shot a deer.
Good for him.
Baptized in the blood.
He's just going to do it all right now.
Take a lot for granted.
That's a good deal.
People in this country do take shit for granted.
Way too much.
We were in Mexico last summer with a girl named Salami, and was she from Nigeria or Nairobi?
Africa.
One of those African countries where it's predominantly black people. And I don't know which one it was, but she grew up very poor. Ethiopia is where she was from. Very
think it
poor.
might have been.
And she joined the got over here. I think she got adopted and came to America and lived with a family. And I'm sure I'm butchering this shit all up. It was a little town in Nebraska. She knew Blake, grew up around Blake a little bit. Married a kid from school, Blake, but she joined the Army. Got her citizenship, went to the Army. She's a dentist for the U.S. Army now.
Yeah.
You know what?
And she talks about how lazy fucking Americans are and they take shit for granted all the time. She's right.
I got 2 things on that. One, do you think it's interesting that a person from Ethiopia is named after a really delicious food item?
No.
Salam.
Her name is Salama or
Salam.
Lama or some shit.
2, my son graduated from the Marine Corps boot camp like 5 years ago. So I flew down to watch the Marine Corps boot camp graduation. And you can join the Marine Corps if you're not a citizen. Go through boot camp, and when you finish boot camp, you're awarded your citizenship.
Should be.
So what they do is they line up 1,000 of these recruits that are going to become graduates that day in front of everybody, and they pull the non-citizens that finish boot camp out in front of everybody and walk them in front, give them their citizenship in front of everyone, then put them back in line, and then graduate the whole thing. Man, it sent shivers
really
up
cool.
my
That's awesome.
shivers up my spine. My mom was an immigrant, and seeing how if you want to be an American, you can go join the Marine Corps, join the Army, join the Navy, join the Coast Guard,
Yeah.
Do
Here's the
3
deal.
months of hard work. You're going to become a citizen, then you get to serve your country for 4 years, and then you're here. There's no reason otherwise.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Citizenship's awesome.
When Payne got out of boot camp, we went to South Carolina, and he's like, this place is represented from 12 countries, and blah, blah. I'm thinking, son of a bitch, there's 12 different countries that got people in the U.S. Army.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I'll bet you if you go to Mexico to their boot camp, I bet there ain't anybody from America joining their military.
Do they have a military?
Their Navy does not look like they're going to stop much.
Who?
The Mexican Navy.
Oh yeah.
I've seen the Mexican Navy in Puerto Vallarta. Well, matter of fact, both times I've been to Puerto Vallarta, I've seen the boats there. I would not want to worry about them attacking anybody. The United States is safe from being attacked from Mexico.
Are we, though?
Yes. Well, they may send the drug cartels across the deal and a bunch of people that way, but they're not attacking us with arms, no.
Well, you'll be able to go inspect the Turks Navy here, Jan 30.
I hope so. That would be a nice trip. Go to the Turks. Yes, me and Michelle will be happy. I don't think that's going to happen.
It's
though.
happening.
It's a beautiful place.
Okay. Well, we'll see. No, I can't do that. I can't accept that trip. I cannot accept that trip.
We'll be in the studio
Okay.
while you're gone.
Yeah, we're gonna come run the show.
That's a good swap right
We're
there.
gonna send the. You guys will go. Me and Zach will run the show.
Y'all are going to jet down here, and then me and Michelle are going to jet to the Turks.
Yep.
Well, I would be all for that.
We'll just jump in. You got no hunters, right?
No.
No,
We can't
you're
fuck
good.
anything up.
that's a,
Can't screw anything
that's
up.
that's a fishing that's a fishing bobber trip. Do you know what a fishing bobber is? It's my fat ass. The first time we go to Mexico in February, I look like a fishing bobber because I'm red on top and white on the bottom after being in the water all day long. I'm telling you. I told her that last time we were there. We was in Puerto Vallarta, or we was in Cancun. I was like, God damn, Michelle, I look like a fishing bobber looking in the mirror. She's like, what? I said, red and white. She goes, oh my God. I said, yep.
Yeah, totally.
So
I can't find Salam on here.
you can't.
No, I was gonna show him Salam, but can't find her Facebook.
Super nice lady. I'm telling you, and just a great story. And we need to do a podcast with her. She'd make a great guest. But she talked to me and her talked a lot about America and all the way it is, and it's great. We're the most overtaxed nation in the country in the world. I think about shit every time you buy gas.
You're buying it with tax money.
Yeah, it's been taxed on when they sold the oil. When they tax all them companies for drilling the oil, and then you buy a car and you have to pay taxes on it every fucking year. And then you drive to your house, it gets taxed on every year, and you pay taxes. It's just tax. And then you find out that our country lost $2.2 trillion, $14,000 per citizen.
Audit the Fed.
Yeah,
But they're gonna drag everybody over the coals that has more than $600 in their Venmo.
Venmo.
It's fucked.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You have to
that's-
claim
that's taxable now.
$600, and if you get a $600, if I hand you $600, you have to claim it.
Yep.
But like what's screwed up is like there's a lot of people that's just a way of like paying people back.
Mm-hmm.
But now
Paying
you're
it
gonna get taxed on that as income.
I wish we'd have had that when I was younger. I had this tight fucking ass friend named Jerry, and I'm not gonna say his last name, Hastings. But anyways, he would do that shit. We'd go to fucking Sonic, and
Can you cover me?
every time. Back then, you could get a Route 44 for 79 cents. We'd go buy a bottle of rum or something, and we'd drink it, and the big Route 44 drinks. Shit, all I got's a 20. Can y'all catch me? Well, after about 5 trips to the
20, you
fucking
can buy
deal,
all of them.
Break that 20.
yeah, about 5 times. He was famous for that shit. Motherfucker had more money than anybody I know because he didn't ever spend his money. He'd spend the shit out of yours all the time.
Tell him, yeah.
But he
Come
would
on,
do,
Jerry.
but he would do that shit. We go to Sonic and it'd be like, and my buddy Mark that was with him, he's dead now. Mark come back from wherever heaven and tell us the same story. You know, Jerry was a tight ass, but he'd do that shit all the fucking time.
Bush League.
Yeah, all the time. After the 4th trip, I'd be like, fuck, we'll break that 20 now.
Yeah.
You know?
Now you're up.
Yeah,
They'll make
turn.
you change.
Yeah.
Like I promise, they can break that here. Fucking no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, $14,000 per citizen is what's missing for the second time. The first time was in 2001 on September 10th. So now we're $4 trillion. They owe each citizen in our country $30,000 apiece.
Perfect.
You want to stimulate the economy? You write everybody a check for $30,000. Now, a wealthy person like you boys at Boss,
Not true.
y'all would turn that 30 into like 90,000 in about 2 years.
Try.
A guy like me would get me a grill and I'd waste my money on a bunch of bullshit. So that's what it'd be like. Yeah.
Spend it and eat it.
Be like, hell yeah. Woohoo, we're going to Turks and Caicos, Michelle. We can afford to go now. We can even take that jet.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
What else is up with you boys then?
Just hunting season. And today was today was the worst day here. There's nothing worse than having people that you really care and love to come down here and have a good time and hunt with you, and to know that pulling the trigger, we did not waste a lot of shells today.
We didn't.
That's what counts, you know. We're
Efficient.
Mother Nature. We're trying to save Mother Nature. one no wind, full moon day at a time.
Correct.
Just an ass.
You can't control it though.
Yeah, but it
You
sucks.
can control your food.
The things we can control, we do a good job of.
Hell
And
yes,
we've had a great season. It was slow on Monday was not bad because the guys that were here, they hunted Monday. They did a really good Monday. Tuesday was slow.
Today's Wednesday.
Andy and Logan. Okay. Monday was slow and Tuesday was not.
No.
What's today?
Today's Wednesday.
Today-
Monday was good.
Monday was good.
Tuesday
Tuesday was slow. Today was horrible. Now, Andy and Blake were all off Monday and Tuesday, and Josh Stoner and Josh Moore. Logan, Yoder, the one we call him the Yoder, the good Amish kid from Michigan, they're blaming on him. They say he fucked the birds up in those 2
He
days.
broke
they
our
were
geese while we were. I don't know what he did to those birds while we were gone. He broke them. They're broken.
Because
They were perfect whenever we left them.
Sunday,
Let's go with it.
Sunday at 7:45 when Andy and them were done, shot their limit and stuff. Andy goes, "That's the best day we've had all year long."
was.
Today, my text from Andy. This is the text I get from Andy this morning on the group text. These blinds ain't working. Goddamn, I'm sick of tumbleweeds. Blah blah. This shit experiment ain't working. We got to do something completely different.
Yep.
I'm like, I told Trevor Austin today. I said, "Fucking Andy." I said on Sunday, 72 hours ago, it was the greatest time ever. To today, 72 hours.
What's
His
happened
first time.
since
Yeah,
then?
Yeah, he's done. And Andy had also texted before that, and he goes, "We are going to come out of this field the same way we came in, with nothing."
What I thought for a long time. I fucking thought that. And then we shot the one, and I was like, okay, well,
That's
the
something.
skunk's gone. And then the later bird started working better, but it just, I don't know what it was. Or I do know what it was. It was no wind. It was a low ceiling.
Well, and the wind spiraling too. That's not going to
Yeah.
help anything.
No.
It's just one of them days that
It
the
is what it
conditions,
is.
and we knew today was going to be tough, but we've set that field.
No, we didn't.
I did.
I felt pretty good setting up. And
Oh.
then when I parked the pickup, birds started flying. I was like, oh, God.
Were you on time
Why-
today?
No.
Okay. Andy's
no,
never on time.
We're a minute late.
That's quick for Andy. Andy is never on time. Andy fucked me out of shooting some pintails the other day in the field, and I love to shoot field ducks. And here they come. I'll cut down those sprigs about 16 inches long
I
on
had
them.
shit to do.
Right in front of us, there's Andy. Okay, guys, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm like, well, if you get the fuck out of the way, we shoot these birds is what we
Hop
do.
in, hop in.
Yeah.
Safety first, Jeff.
And then we're sitting there. Then they had some Canada's workers real close, and Andy didn't call the shot.
No.
And Gus West is a good friend of ours, grew up out here. He's a big money guy from Albany now in the cattle business. Him and Bucky Nail. Gus looks at me and he goes, "Hey, you own this place. You can call the shot."
100%.
I said,
love it.
"I'm not going to take that ass chewing." I do not like to get in trouble. I
It
don't
was a
want my kids
glancing
pissed
blow.
off at me.
It would have been a glancing blow.
Yeah, blow
And
them
I
fuckers
wanted-
off the ground. We're shooting boss. We'd have killed the shit out of them.
Yep.
It was at 45, and I don't want them at 45. I
They were-
want them at 15.
They were at 25.
No, they fucking were. If they would have been at 25, 100% I'd have called the shot.
Andy done it 4 days in a row with a group of Canadas.
No.
Yes,
well,
he did.
I did get circled 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you.
I told
I
Gus,
just-
I said, he fucked us out of them pintails, and now he's going to fuck us out of these Canadas. I said, he is not caring about this customer over here.
I'm picky. I want them to do it a certain way.
And I paid for the executive hunt.
Yeah.
You did?
Yes.
I
All
fucking
inclusive?
showed up 7 minutes before shooting time and had somebody else go park his car.
That's
That's
is
Jeff.
Executive.
That's the way you roll to the Turks right there, buddy. Come in
No
there like
shit.
I owned that motherfucker. I told y'all how to handle that shit with that hanger at that jet. Like, park this bitch inside, okay? That's the way we do shit around here. Yeah, you low income fuckers, that ain't how you do that shit. That's how you do that. Park that bitch inside.
My brother had a heat stroke that day that we hunted. No shit. Had a heat.
Payne did.
He's an army guy.
Yeah.
He ran after one cripple and he collapses.
No
from a,
way.
Yeah. Overheated. Is that mine?
So did you call Zach?
Zach was there.
What did Zach do?
Laughed. Told him to hurry up.
Lord
I've got it on
almighty.
video. I'll put it on the big screen real quick. But yeah, like, so we're working birds and no, we're going to pick up birds, and then like birds are trying to come in and he just lays down and I'm like, Payne, you gotta fucking go, buddy.
Yeah. right
Like,
now.
I need you in the blind, not here, I'll share the password with you. I don't need you to lay down out there, is what I was telling him. And then here it is. Let me put it on the big screen. If it'll go. Here's how we'll do this. Put it there, maybe. Here we go. Jeff just left us.
High and dry.
All right. There's that.
we have a lull in this thing.
No, I was trying to pull up this video. All right, so there's Payne in the bottom. He's right there.
Now he'd been running already for a little bit. And
No, he
chased some
fucking.
deer. Yes, he did.
That's the bird that he got. It's right there in his hand.
No, Stoner took him and he took off after some more birds.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So
he'd already gotten some birds.
He ran out there. We did a cleanup. He ran out there,
The shin gear is very warm.
and then so there was one more sailor, and he's like, "Take these birds. I'll run and grab it."
Mm-hmm.
So that's after he's already.
He's got a hamstring. Is fucked up.
Look at the group above him too.
Yeah, that's why. I thought he just laid down to let those work.
Oh, he's locked up.
Oh, he is.
He did,
He had a vulva.
And then lose like, bruh.
bro. Come on, I'm fucking 10.
Did he have a vuba or vupa or something?
Oh my god.
What a brother move, though.
So he gets
up.
He gets to the blind, and he's like, "What the hell's going on?" Is he going gun? He's like,
Vagal is what they
"A
call it.
vagal is what he had, which your body locks down. Oh, people get it from shit and
From
they
pooping.
From pooping, your
Straining.
whole body just locks down, and that's what he had. And his blood pressure plummeted. So we got back in the car. He threw up like 10 times.
Oh my god!
No way.
Drink. Well, yeah, he has heat stroke. So we get in the truck. He's like,
Boys, that ain't good.
"Dad, you got to take me to the ER." I pulled the old dad move.
Army
I said,
strong.
I said,
by the way,
"What's your
Should
copay?"
be in-
I said, "What's your copay on your insurance, Payne?" He goes, "I don't have copay, Dad. I'm in the military. Just take me to the damn emergency room." Take him to the emergency room. His blood pressure's like 85/33 or something.
Oh, my goodness.
And she's like,
That's a Dirk blood pressure.
she goes,
No,
so,
opposite.
yeah.
yours was high,
It'd be-
high.
285/100.
Whatever. Fucked up.
So, anyways, they put an IV in him and they start. Like I said, I bet he's had a
Vagal.
vagal. And so, anyways, I'm like, damn, vagal. So Michelle's like, "What's going on?" I said, "Payne's had a vagal." Huh? It's not a bagel, a vagal. I said, "I don't even know what it is." So I'm trying to look it up on my phone. But anyways, they had 3 bags IV.
Then he was like, I had spotty service that day. So Jeff calls me in the field and we're wrapping everything up. And he's like, "Yeah, Payne had a vagal. It's what old people get when they shit themselves."
Sounds
So I'm
like something a woman gets. You have to have a vagina. To
I was
have
like,
a
Yeah.
bagel.
"So did Payne shit himself?" And he's like, "No, fucking Payne didn't shit himself. Like old people get it from pushing too hard. Whenever it locks their whole body down. They just pass out basically." So he pulled a hammy, heat stroke, and a vagal.
On a goose hunt
on a
in
goose
November.
I'm all of a sudden afraid of bagels.
Yeah.
just make
I
sure.
didn't know that was something I'd be afraid of, but that's coming in my future.
I'm just proud you didn't have a heart attack on this trip because every time I'm going to be around you, you always get a cardiac moment of some sort.
Knock on
Even
wood,
forgot my meds this morning until I got back from the blind.
What was the cardiac story again? For the people that didn't listen, tell me about the guy in Dallas. And I can't remember what it was. His shoes or something was.
Well, on the way down to Dallas, it was me and Zach in his truck actually, and we weren't 100 miles from home on that trip heading south. And I looked at him. I said, "I think I got COVID, dude. My chest was killing me." I've had a couple other minor heart attacks before that I never displayed chest pain with. I had nausea, vomiting.
See, I'm shocked by this. As smart as you are, if your chest bothers you and you've had a heart attack, I'm thinking heart attack right away.
But I never had chest pains the other times. I had all these other symptoms. There's plenty of other symptoms, and I've never displayed as a chest pain thing. So I think I have COVID. I take a big breath and just buckle. So we did our 12-hour drive and got there and went and set up our booth, which is heavy and pushing it through this big convention center. I'm like, dude, I got to take a knee real quick.
I gotta take a knee.
I'm like, come on, dude. We're almost done.
You did a Payne.
Yeah,
Payne, get
totally.
up.
Totally. He's like,
Like,
"Come
we're
on, bro."
almost done, buddy. They gave us a fucking dolly in a cart. Like, this is good.
Yeah, I went running to go steal a cart, and
It can't be any easier.
so I'm having chest pains for days. I had to go meet up with another guy for a podcast in the morning, and had to walk from the hotel like a half-mile walk.
Yeah,
and
3/4 max.
cold. And I got to to the convention center, and I was in such bad shape. I had to like sit down before I could even walk up and talk to this guy with so much pain. I'm like, this COVID is no joke. Then we pack up, make our overnight drive, get home, and 4 a.m. the following morning, I was in emergency surgery. Woke my wife up and said, "I need to go to the hospital now." And we live about a half mile from it.
How long had you been awake before you made?
Probably about an hour.
Right.
And it just progressively got to the point where I couldn't knew something was far worse than COVID.
COVID.
Do. And so walked in, and I was in emergency surgery in probably 20 minutes. It just so happened that my cardiologist was there with his surgical team in the hospital to do a procedure on a person that somehow didn't need it. I don't know if he wasn't ready for it or passed away or didn't make it or
Really?
whatever. But they were
So they were
literally
there
all
ready.
there ready with a OR room prepped and ready to go, and I was right in and
By the grace of God.
yeah.
That is crazy.
So it was a widowmaker and 97% blockage of it, and we moved on from that. And then the next month was pretty rocky, though. I was in and out of the hospital every weekend for a week at a time for 6 weeks or so. But
My brother that'll be out here. He kept his father-in-law alive. I think he was out 50 minutes, and
that's an incredible story.
He'll be able to tell. I think it was 9. I don't know. I don't think it was 100% blocked. But you need more?
Yeah, I was giving a cheers over
Oh,
it.
yeah, absolutely. It's good to have you guys here. Finally, after all these
Prost.
after all these years.
Jeff, cheers.
You got that taken care of?
Well, yeah, it's Farmer calling me
Ah,
that we hunt on. and
good
I
news
need
or
to-
bad news?
It's not bad news.
Oh.
Just
Not,
news.
not good news either. Just news.
No, it wasn't bad news at all.
Oh.
You told me where some birds were.
When you had your heart attack, the last time whenever you did the surgery, like was it some of the same symptoms that you had in Dallas, or was it back to like the symptoms that you had?
It was chest pain. It was all the same heart attack. It happened right when I got back from
but
Dallas.
you didn't have the other, like you said, that was the first time that you'd had a heart attack with chest pain.
Yeah, so other time, I've had 2 other ones previous, and no
chest pains at all.
no chest pains at all.
Fuck.
So nauseous, dizzy, ringing in my ears, sweating, and real fast pace heart you could feel.
We have a guy here. He's got an electrical problem.
Yeah.
It's not a plumbing problem. It's all
Yeah.
electrical. And I think they had to keep him in AFib for like 12 hours or
They
something
put a
like
pacemaker
that.
in him.
No, it's called an ablation.
Yeah, ablation. They kill the nerve root that
Yeah.
causes that electrical stimulation.
So they've had hell getting his heart back on track. So they had to keep him totally awake and no sedation, no anesthesia of any sort, because they were afraid that if they gave him even like a Tylenol, that his heart would react differently. Like they wanted to know exactly what was going on with him just being regular.
Yeah.
So he's like, they did everything with me wide awake.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine being the first fucker they tried that on? Listen, I think if we cut scars in your heart, it'll make
They
your
burn
electrical
it, don't
problem.
they?
Yeah, they
Isn't that
burn
the how
it.
they do it?
But I mean, can you imagine?
Whatever the hell they do.
Yeah.
Hey, we need you awake for this.
Yeah, we're gonna try this.
What?
Yeah,
I think if
Joe.
we burn these nerve endings,
Yeah.
it'll work.
Joe was asleep, and we think that's what killed him. So we're going to keep you awake this time to try it. I mean, the first person, Dr. DeBakey, when he put that first heart in someone,
Yeah.
that guy's like, but you're dying. You have no choice. What do you got to live? I mean, what do you got to
take the
give?
chance.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah, nothing to lose, and all you're dying. But just, it's amazing how smart these people are.
Really.
I mean, it's crazy. And then you got fuckers going around sniffing paint. So,
It's true.
Takes all kinds, Jeff.
I mean,
Takes all kinds.
Just-
I saw Herschel Walker lost.
Official?
Yep.
oh, I'm sure
He
they.
conceded.
I had a guy tell me yesterday that is very well connected with Georgia politics. He told me before it ever started, he goes, they're not going to win. He said the Democrats have spent 3 times as much money as the Republicans are. I said, Republicans don't care.
That's on Mitch McConnell, though, isn't it?
No, he don't pay. He's not in charge of that. It's the Republican.
But I thought he was in charge of.
They don't give 2 shits. They want it to be that way because then they don't have to fix nothing.
Correct.
As long as everybody in Washington, D.C. is making money on both parties, they don't give 2 shits about us.
I saw a clip from Joe Rogan. He said something really, really profound. He said, they've had 2.5 years, and they didn't focus. Democrats didn't focus on anything while they were in charge, other than how do we win again. But it's the same thing, even when Republicans are in charge. It's not how do we make things better for ordinary citizens in the middle class. It's we've got control now. How can we keep control?
Yep.
Or we need to get control. It's never about let's fix fucking problems. Let's not fix the highways and byways and all that shit. That would make too much sense.
I agree and I disagree. We had one president that actually did try to help the middle class, the actually true working people of this country.
Yeah, but the
and they
machine-
cheated to get rid of the
But
machine.
the
Don't want him.
machine didn't.
No, they hated him.
And it impeded him.
Yeah, the machine wanted him out. Mitch McConnell, he wants him out. They're all getting paid.
It's the same party.
Yeah, I saw
100%.
Twitter. Saw a deal on Twitter yesterday. Dr. Fauci's daughter worked for Twitter. Imagine that. And now they found out that the FBI had a plan inside of there that was suppressing Twitter's censorship and stuff. This is shit, Banana Republic shit we're going through right now. It's just crazy that, and this is what really bothers me. It's December 7th, one of the most important days in the history of our country, and we're at that point again. They are going to sleep. They've got a sleeping giant they're fucking with. and they are fucking with the people of this country this time. It was Japan fucking with the United States. Now it's our government, the politicians, fucking with people in this country that have had enough of it. All we want to do, we all want the same things. We all want to live a good life. We want to be able to work. We want to be able to get paid for what we do and an opportunity to make more money. And we want our kids and our grandkids to live in a safe place and be in a good place. Every place that's controlled by the blue, and the Republicans ain't no different, don't get me wrong, but every big city in America is a shithole right now.
It is.
I mean, I don't want my grandkids to be living in that mess. I can't imagine. I don't even want my grandkids to go to Six Flags anymore. All these people do, all these punks and thugs go to Six Flags every day. They buy a season pass and they harass the shit out of people and they fight and they have big gang fights in there every day.
Yep.
Who wants to take your family to do that shit?
Yeah, I know somebody who just got back from there, and they said the quality of the employees and the staff at Disney in the past 2 years since the last time they went there is drastically decreased.
Yeah, I don't want to be none of that shit because of all that crap. I don't want my kids to be exposed to my grandkids to that. I want we're going to go to the Gaylord over Christmas break. Is that good news or bad news?
Good news.
Oh.
We can crane hunt tomorrow.
Boom. 3, 2.
Boom! Welcome to the Big Honker podcast. Good deal.
That's a fucking load off.
Your little brother did a good job today.
He did, yeah.
So, anyways,
He said he's gonna draw. He said he's gonna send me a map of like the borders and stuff so that we know right where we are.
okay, that's
I
good.
mean, do we need to go out there and look at this shit so we know what,
Yeah, we'll finish up here and then we'll drive down there.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
like, sleep? Why? You getting lazy?
I have to. No, Andy, explain to him. Am I lazy at all when it comes to scouting and stuff?
No, but I don't know what.
I'm not going to go with y'all to scout down
Oh,
there tomorrow.
okay.
No, explain why now.
Yep.
We have
You've got
other
a
groups.
scout here.
I've got
Fill in,
stuff to scout
fill in
here.
the listeners.
He's
I
got
have-
a scout here.
I've got to scout here stuff. I got other
We've got
places
2
to take
groups
care of.
tomorrow down
Yeah.
here. So
Oh, nice. That's nice of you.
Yeah, I didn't want people to think that Jeff shirks on his duties because I do not. And my guides will tell you, I scout and I'm out every morning. We brung buckets.
you
this
busted-
morning.
Yeah, Andy
Yes.
made a call. Here
did.
came Jeff the bucket guy.
Yep.
I did.
Yep.
And I was coming in from the wrong way.
Yep.
I thought y'all were on the other end of the field, and I got about halfway there, and I thought, I bet I'm in the wrong way because there's no vehicles here.
3 buckets.
Yeah. Let me tell you, I knew you're a big guy. I want you to be comfortable.
3 buckets.
Set a little high.
And I was totally cool with crouching, but those boys insisted.
we weren't gonna let you do that.
No, we're not doing that shit. Anyways, back to our deal. You can't go anywhere. We're going to the Gaylord.
Yep.
Well, I know when my family goes to the Gaylord that it's going to be a pretty good place. Until the other day, they had an incident there the other night. Someone tried to stab somebody in the parking lot waiting for that shit.
Good Lord.
Is there not any place that people that are, this sounds really snobby and I don't mean it to be, but is there not some places we can pay to go do things with our family that we're safe and away from that shit?
Stay out of the shit.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it just, there's certain places you think that you should be not exposed to that crap. I know if I go to a concert at an arena downtown somewhere, there's a good chance I could get raped or nobody rapes you, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, you could be exposed to something
Yes.
that you might not want to.
When I go to the Gaylord at high-end upscale hotel and convention center, I should be
Should be
safe.
good.
I shouldn't have to worry about that shit.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind how shitty things are getting.
Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Y'all built a new storeroom now where you're at, right?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
People can come in off the streets and buy shit.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when somebody comes in and does that dash and grab where they grab stuff and walk out the door? Someone's going to take care of them. Y'all aren't going to put up with that shit.
No.
I hope.
I hope they do.
Don't say that because that could
No,
never
it's
happen.
not gonna-
But you
it's
know what
not
I'm
gonna
saying.
happen.
But you don't. But because you would take care of that shit. Have you seen these Louis Vuitton stores that these people
That's
go into?
insane.
I saw there was a story on the news over the weekend where a guy like corded up a bunch of purses,
Yes.
like strings through this person, like drug out. I don't know how many. Let's just say like 60 purses.
What kind were they?
I don't even.
If they're Louis Vuittons and you're listening to this, give me a call. Check me out by J Stanfield 68 on Instagram.
He's got
Message
$5.99
me.
on his Venmo
Yeah,
account.
I'll buy. Yeah, I'll send you $5.99 and $5.98 tomorrow. Mama's getting a new Louis Vuitton for Christmas.
Right.
But ain't that crazy though? And I had the guys from New York here, and they were talking about it, and they said, "Yeah, if you still shit under $500, they don't even do nothing to you. Who the fuck's paying for this shit?"
It's a new form of tourism, man. If you need something for $2,000, jump on the airplane for $500 round trip, fly to LA, run downtown, grab what you need, walk out the store, and fly back home.
It's just nuts.
Saved you
What are we
$1,500
talking
and got
about?
to visit
People-
LA.
Dash and grabs. I told them we were going to the Gaylord for Christmas. We're taking the grandkids for the ice stuff. Well, they just had an incident in the parking lot at the Gaylord, and someone got stabbed or shot the other night.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Here's
is that
ice and
shock
stuff
you there?
No,
It
No,
doesn't. It
not
does
at all.
me because the Gaylord's an upscale type area. And
Yeah,
nice
but
neighborhoods.
all that shit's going to hell right now. Zach's sending a video. He said that fucker's juiced. Juiced. He said they're just maple leafing in there. So
What do y'all call that up there? Since y'all are close to the land of
it.
maple syrup, you still maple leafing?
Yeah.
I think we got that from one of your guys from up north. Did
Right,
you know?
right, Dave Reese.
Did you know people do not like blue platers?
Oh yeah.
I did not know that until Josh Stoner explained that to me.
Where would he have been?
here
He,
we have blue
Blue
platers.
Plate down here?
Yes.
No, but no, that's not where
Bullshit.
that's not where his deal comes from. His deal comes from
Green
hunting in the
tags,
Dakotas
Colorado.
instead.
Yeah, yeah,
Colorado,
it's
they don't like green tags. In Nebraska, the green tags.
Right.
Yeah. No,
But
it's-
North
it'd be
Dakota, they hate blue
platers in the
platers.
Dakotas, yeah.
Yeah.
It's that, and then it's like the minivan or whatever with like 2 canoes on it. It's like fuck here.
Oh,
we go.
those are some yogurt crunchers right there.
Yeah, not even a kayak, like canoes. It's like, dude, that's all they can. Whatever, it's all good.
Do you fish a lot at home?
I mean, used to.
You used to fish a lot. What was your like walleye
Yeah,
or pike?
yeah,
Have you been to Boundary Waters?
yeah,
That's a cool place.
yeah,
I've been up there a couple of times.
yeah.
The first 2 times I went, I was in college and I was in shape.
That's right.
The last time I went, I was 413 years old and I took my kids with me. That was the most miserable fucking trip of my lifetime. We were going to canoe. We got to the place where you have to ditch your motors. We ditched our motors.
Yep.
No, we never did have motors. We canoed the whole way. That's
Yep.
what it was.
You got portage and do the deal.
Fucking portage means fat man died. After we did it and we come back, I'd like, fuck, why don't we just we could tent right across the road. We could put a tent right there and called in pizza.
But it was your idea to do it.
Yes, that's what made it worse because the memory of me being in college doing it was
He
a whole lot
wanted to
different.
canoe like into Canada and all this other shit.
I could see Canada where we were at. That was good. That was close
Close
enough.
enough.
Yeah,
But last time I fished right up in Canada, a place called Basswood Falls.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
been right there.
It was fucking miserable this time. I'm just like, fuck, this is stupid.
It's awesome up there.
But you told everybody this is where we got to get back there.
Oh yeah, we got to get to this place. This place is where we want to go to.
Just,
and then we
just
would
go,
canoe.
Go up there. There's a portion where you can use a motor, 25 horsepower or less.
We did when I was in college. We did that.
Well,
I
do
had a
that
buddy.
now. You don't have to
I didn't have the means. I didn't have a motor. My buddy that we did it with when I was
do
younger
it
did.
now.
Well, I ordered. We bought it.
Just book an outfitter up there, big boy.
Fuck, if I'm gonna do that shit, I'd rather have a house on lake, on the lake there, big nice house,
Yeah.
the hot tub and a pool and shit.
But you got to give them the whole experience. You can do the Basswood bit. It's fun as shit,
Yeah.
dude.
You know what my grandkids told me when we got to Washington last year? Judge, where's the pool at? We're fucking Pacific Ocean's right there. There's a big ass ocean right there. Where the pool?
Yeah, the pool's right
Yeah.
there over the sidewalk.
They were like, I thought it was like Puerto Rico where we have a pool and a hot tub right out in the backyard. No, we're in upstate Washington. It's nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Not bad, right? It's got potential.
It's got potential. How healthy is the wind tomorrow?
10 miles an hour southwest.
Yeah, we'll see. It's got a nice tree line, so we should be able to hide pretty well. But oh well. Better situation than we had before those phone calls. So I like it.
Great.
I like crane hunting. All of a sudden,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we hear all the time.
too many more ass whippings like today, and
If it rains an inch tonight, what's it going to be like?
Ask him tomorrow morning.
That's the difference between being an outfitter and a guide. I'm thinking ahead what all the situations is.
Yeah. What can
Andy
go
all of
wrong?
a sudden is like, oh, shit.
Well, Sareki's one of his favorite sayings. He'll look at you and say, "What's the most important thing right now?" And look at you. The next 2 things.
the next 2
That's
things.
right. That's
Right.
exactly right. Brandon's a sharp guy. So how did Brandon become Brandon? Where'd Brandon grow up at?
I think right
Y'all
there.
work together
10
every day.
miles
Y'all
from
don't
his
know this?
shop. 10 miles
Yeah,
from
he's
the
right
shop.
there.
And how did he get into the business of the machine shop business? Was it a family business or was
The
it his?
family business.
It was a machine shop, right? Basically, or manufacturing.
Plating.
Metal finishing.
Metal finishing and plating.
The guy has got a crazy mind of the stuff he thinks about.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk to him about something. Let's do it.
His father
Right
got
now.
ill, and
Yeah.
he had to take over when his father died early, and he turned it around into something much larger and green, like as an environmental product, less waste in that industry. He really, it wasn't just given and here you go. He worked really hard to turn it into something that it wasn't, but it was a good start.
But what happens is, and this is what's so sad, people like that, then they go, well, God, they have everything given to them. No, they took something and made it so much bigger.
Right, exactly.
You know, like when I'm gone one day, I hope my boys turn this into something, or Andy, it would be Andy, turns into something a lot bigger than what we have. That's what you want them to do. You give them a head start in life, but you want them to do something with it.
I think I've already done that.
8 out of 10 of those people fail.
Yes.
You give them, money. Or,
I think I've already taken your business to another level.
No, you have. But when I'm gone,
So now I've got to level up on another level up?
I would hope so. For your sake, yes. I do. I don't mean that bad at all. You have the podcast. You've expanded it. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
But I hope that when I'm gone, you've expanded it even more and does more. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how much upside there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But Brandon took a business.
Oh, look, we got Mike.
And it grew on there more and more. Did Zach already bail out on us?
I think he bailed on
I think
us.
he bailed.
We get our friend Mike Clements in here.
Oh,
Hey, Mike.
how's it going?
Good.
So Sorecki, the family business, and he grew it into more, and then just more and more things. He's an interesting guy.
Yep,
Really interesting guy. Has a lot of different things. But will you tell him something?
I will.
And no. When you tell him things, he follows through.
Yes.
If you get an idea and he puts it in his head, he's going to try something to do something.
Immediately.
That's a cool thing to do. There's
Immediately.
Yes.
We move
You want
quickly.
a bourbon, Mike?
I will definitely do a bourbon.
Yeah, ideas come quickly, and you have to act and move on them quickly.
Yes.
He expects a lot of everybody around him, but he expects more of himself. So that's
Well, y'all have
refreshing to work with an owner like that.
y'all have changed the whole game in shell business and ammunition completely.
Yeah,
There's no them big boys are all struggling to try to keep up with y'all's ideas.
well, we can move quickly.
Yep, and I think the federal government's going to intervene pretty quick on some of the other stuff on the Dove, especially.
Yeah, for the lead.
I think it's coming down the road, and I'm going to say probably 1 or 2 more election cycles, and it'll be here.
It's inevitable.
Yes, it is, and it's
It should be.
that shooting lead at Dove. And here's it's not just lead at Dove. That's not just that's going to come, and it's also going to come that lead fishing weights.
What are they going to do instead?
Tungsten?
That's
Tungsten?
Somebody
Fishing,
out
they already
there,
have it out there. It's expensive.
Oh, do
but
they?
Yeah, there's tungsten fishing weights. They're expensive, and
but they're not going to be
they're
no
there.
choice. That's what's going to happen.
that's okay.
That's what I'm saying though. That is because you can't just and it's going to be dove loads, it's going to be trap and skeet, and it's going to be fishing weights.
Undyed. I mean, there's no way around it. Lead's super toxic for
Right.
the environment and anything it gets near.
Well, what's weird is it doesn't. So like we can in Texas you can shoot lead at cranes.
Yeah.
So you can hunt a wheat field for cranes, and you can litter that wheat field with lead pellets.
Yep.
But if you switch to goose hunt that same field, you've got to go to non-toxic.
I didn't know that.
It doesn't
Yes.
make sense.
No,
Doesn't
but
make any sense.
but the reason wasn't about
Or you can dove hunt a small pond
Sure.
and shoot lead at them. But if you switch to duck or goose, you better have non-toxic.
Yep.
Same pond, same water. You're just targeting a different animal.
That doesn't make sense.
But well, the reason they did that though, they didn't do it because of lead in the water or lead on the field. They did it because a bald eagle got
Eating-
lead poisoning from eating a fucking duck or a
eating
goose.
cripples.
Yep, that's why it changed it. They can tell you what they want to, but that's the whole reason why.
It doesn't even need to be a cripple. If another bird eats it off the ground to put it in its crop to
But that
digest, and whatever, and then it eats that bird.
that's what it's about though. It was about the eagles.
Yep.
Now, an eagle can fly and get 350 of them get killed today by wind farms. They don't give a shit about the eagle then.
Right.
But that's the reason this whole thing started in 88, 90, sometime around then. I remember I shot lead as a kid. I grew up, we shot lead all the time. My dad used to reload lead 6s, and they were hot as hell, and it shot the shit out of them. And I never had that feeling again until I shot Boss the first time. I was like, whoa, shit.
Yeah, I hear that.
Dad's
all the
unloading
time.
lead 6s again here, these hot lead 6s, because it was the same thing. And when I first got in the business, we were shooting T and F shot. We're shooting geese at 15 yards, and we're shooting T and F shot
That's crazy.
to kill them because you couldn't kill shit because steel shot was horrible. And they fixed the steel, and it got a little bit better. But when you go back and you shoot the Boss, you're like, damn, this is like going back in the old days.
That stuff's hard for me to imagine because I was, for a better term, raised in Boss's duck hunting world.
Mm-hmm.
So I never shot anything but Boss. And
Yeah,
the idea of going to BBs or large pellets or steel or 3.5-inch shells or a 10 gauge or any of that seems so foreign to me that just because of my place where I started.
I shot 10 gauge over under.
Yeah, it's wild.
My first couple of years I guided, I shot a 10 gauge over under. And
And
I'm
then
gonna tell you
I
what, if that son of a bitch, both barrels went off the same time, God almighty, smoke your ass.
What's crazy is y'all were all shooting 20. Were you shooting a 28?
28, yeah.
Everybody was shooting a 28 on the right side, and birds were just crumbling.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of those shots were 30, 40 yards out there today.
All you gotta do
There
is hit
was
them.
some I wish you
Yep.
would have called that we could have poked at.
We could have poked at them. Here goes Dirk now. Let's see what you've started, Jeff.
I'm telling you, every day, same shit every day. You know, I'm glad you didn't call the shot because you'd got to ass chewing like I would have that day.
I'm stoogey.
I was holding Zach down by one knee,
I'm stoogey on
Buzzy
some
down
things.
by the other because they'd see him, and I know they wanted him.
But the boss has made a huge difference in this world, and it's going to change because the government's going to get involved with the dove hunting. It's coming, and everybody dove hunting. It's funny too because everybody bitched when they first went to steel shot. Everybody did. Gosh, it was expensive. This blah blah blah. When you all go to the non-toxic on the dove loads, after a year, people just know that's the game. You got to play it.
Yeah.
I don't like paying $4 a gallon for gas when it is, but I'm not going to stop not driving.
That's the part that tears me up, though, is you see these people are like, it's just too expensive. I can't afford to do that. Meanwhile,
we
you're
talked
rolling
about
up.
that this morning.
You're rolling up in a $92,000 King Ranch F350, but God forbid I spend an extra $5 a box or $10 a box. It's like, come on, like if you want to come up with an excuse, come up with one, but don't use that one.
I had a guy bitching the other day about having to pay $5 to have his bird clean.
Well,
You're
clean your
telling
own
me,
bird.
you got to go somewhere else to do it. And I'm fine.
Yeah.
But, I can't believe you charge $5 to clean a bird. Well, you can go somewhere else and clean them. If you want us to clean them and package them and do the paperwork.
How much do you think
a
it
cold-
costs to have somebody to work per hour now?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't.
that's
just,
the
you
deal.
can't just find help
You know?
for $5 an hour like you could in the '90s. High school kids just aren't beating down the doors to come work out here anymore.
So, but they got to pay it. But I'm thinking you're paying $400 for morning to hunt. You kill 3 birds and you got $15 for bird cleaning. And that's
the sticking point.
That's what does it.
yeah.
That's the
it
sticking
just
point.
edge.
blows my mind on
Right.
that shit. I used to get this call a lot, and we don't do it on executive hunts. If you're going to do an executive hunt, you're going to pay $100 extra a man, and everybody has to pay it, like 10 guys. So if I got 10 guys out there, you're going to spend an extra $1,000, and we'll put the decoys out and we'll pick them up. And per group, and I'm going to pay my guys extra money to do it. We got to do extra breakfast. We got to drive them out separate. So I'm going to make some money off the deal too. Or you can pay the $400, and there'll be a guy do it. And this is what I say to me: well, $100, 10 of us, that's $1,000 a morning. Yes, sir. Well, can't you just pay $100 and let some high school kid, local kid, go out and put out decoys? First of all, you can't get a lazy fucking kid out of bed to go do shit anyways. Second, do you really want to hunt over a spread where some fucking kid, he ain't using my shit and putting it out? You imagine just giving some high school kids, put these decoys
set
out,
these
what
out.
it'd look like.
However they, whatever you think looks
Put the
right.
blind
Set 'em
up and everything else. But I don't understand the bickering over money that we can get into about shit. No.
It's the cheapest part of the hunt.
Yep.
Yes.
Have you ever been to a restaurant and argued about the price of a drink at dinner before dinner?
Nope.
I haven't either. But there's got to be somebody that does that. They want $8.50 for a drink or
Oh,
$15.
there's plenty of people who do that.
Oh, you use a bartender.
You were a
So you dealt with
bartender.
that?
Oh yeah.
No shit.
Oh yeah.
What's the most expensive place you ever worked when it comes to selling drinks? Just a Scotch and water. Well, no, let's do different because let's say a Crown and Coke because there can be all kinds of high dollar
Probably
scotches.
like $11, $12 Crown and Coke.
A Crown and Coke. That's not bad, is it? You've never been to Jerry's World where the Cowboys
Oh,
play.
I've been a couple places where it's been really expensive. Yeah, and
I think
in
me and Mich-
Dallas we were at one of the places down there, one of the shows, and I think we ordered 3 old fashions. It was like $90.
Boss Boys, they stay at the high end.
See,
places,
because like
though.
whenever
hell no, we were down the road.
whenever you like price these things, don't you want to like have it to where it's like $8 or something? That way they just leave a 10 and it's $2 for a tip. Like if it's $11, what do they do?
Nobody
like
drops a 10 anymore, though, right? It just goes on a
To
card.
20
Nobody's
or a
got
card.
cash in their pocket. That game's kind of played out.
because that was a thing. Like
Yeah, for
price
sure.
it
You'd
to where
always
like
try and
they're
do
gonna get
that.
the tips the most. Like do $7 and then you get a $3 tip or whatever.
Most owners don't care about the tip.
I think me and Michelle bought 2 drinks at Jerry's World last year, and I think it was probably $38 or something for 2 drinks.
It's incredible.
I mean, just it is a fucking little plastic cup too. It wasn't even a good cup. $38. Like, oh, dude.
Yeah, for $38, I better get some fucking glass.
Yeah, no, this was not in. But it was whatever it was. But you know what? Fucking paid $700 to go see fucking 2 tickets to see Kenny Chesney. I'm really gonna
Cheers.
bitch about $40 for 2 drinks.
Right.
I mean, it's what you're looking. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, I mean, just sometimes that's what it is. You want to play, you got to pay.
Yeah.
So has the bartending game like changed now that everything has gone to card? Like, are people wanting to do it as much? Because like it was a lucrative cash cow business to where you could.
I don't think people want to do it as much since COVID. Tell you the truth.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
I hate to. put that blame on there, but I was still bartending in the evenings before COVID hit and even into it. And so I was working at Boss during the day, going to the bar at night. It was a brewery, so it wasn't a bar. So, and I'd done that for decades on and off. And you always felt like there was a relationship between you and your customer. You poured them a drink, they gave you a couple bucks. There was chit chat. You felt like almost like a partnership in this. You felt like you were in a good spot. It was like a respected place in the community in a weird way. Your local bartender,
Yeah.
you know, you knew everybody's secrets. People come and share their good days, bad days. It was always good.
Well, my wife's bitching today.
But I'll tell you what, as soon as COVID hit, and I mean, I wasn't a mask person or anything. It wasn't my thing, but we were required to, you know. I hate to be a follow orders type of guy, but hey, you got to wear the mask till you get in. And people you had worked forever with would fucking chew you out and fuck you, I'm leaving, and everything
For a
else. You're
mask.
like, dude, I've known you for 2 years. You know I'm not asking you to do this. I don't want to be here fucking doing this. And you want to, it's the deal, dude.
Right.
I can't do it otherwise.
Yeah.
Why are you giving me this? Don't fucking come in. You know, so all of a sudden it broke down that boundary where you didn't feel like you were respected.
Right.
And it became obvious that you weren't respected, and I never go back to the industry. And I've done it on and off my whole life, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And it was always a second job that I just would do for the love of it. And I'd never touch it again, not for a night.
See, that's something I think I would like to do.
It fucking burned me up, man.
I think
was
being a
done with
bartender would
people.
be fun as hell.
Great job.
I think it'd be fun 'cause I like to visit with people and I like to
Yeah,
talk.
bullshit, have fun. You're
Yeah.
always moving. It's never stale. You make your cash money. You walk out the door. You know,
Yeah.
you keep a schedule that you want. It's a great career.
At an upscale city bar,
You make a fortune.
that's what I was asking. What kind of deal tips a night? 500 to 1,000 a night?
If you worked 5 nights a week in an upscale bar, you'll make $100,000 a year.
Ooh.
I had a kid that worked for us that was a bartender in Vegas. He would bartender there for 9 months, and then he'd come here and guide hunts for 3 months. And he told me, he said, Las Vegas was the best place in the world for you to be able to live and make a good living without having to have a college diploma. Back when college diplomas meant a lot more than they do now. But, you know, he was saying you can make 6 figures a year. If you're working at Caesar's Palace or one of them nice casinos,
you
well,
make a
I don't even,
fortune.
whatever, I don't even know. I've been to Vegas a long time, but let's say one of the MGM properties, one of the new ones, you make a killing as a damn bartender at them places.
If you're at a good high-end bar where you get good people in there and you work regularly and are constant, there's $100,000 on the table.
What makes it
every year for you.
valuable at the high end places? Is it just because the drinks are more expensive, so the tips more expensive?
Yeah,
or just
so that's
ballers
you're
come in?
gonna have a higher ticket. So the more you can sell per person, ticket average, the more your tip average is going to be. So that's an advantage. But then also, the longer you're at one place, and if you're constantly there, and those people get to know you, once again, you develop a relationship with them, and they know they take care of you. Let me take care of you. And then once a week, maybe they'll drop you a 50 or 100. The rest of the time, they always take great care of you. But, and then they bring their friends, and it's just you develop your clients almost. Like I had my regulars. They would come on nights that I was there. If I wasn't there, they'd turn around and walk out the door. And there was other people who'd come in looking for somebody, and I was there, and they'd turn around and walk out the door. But yeah, there's good money in that business.
I always wondered about like the places like these NBA players going there buying this $25,000 bottles of champagne when they go.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a fucking idiot right there, I think. But if
That's
you're
a rite of passage, though. They have to do.
well,
Bottle service, huh?
but the bottle service deal. But how much do them little cocktail waitresses make on some deals like that?
Yeah,
There's a bartender. I mean, if you're selling a $20,000 bottle,
It's not even up to the purchaser to tip on that. That stuff's all written in.
It's in
They've got probably 20% tip on everything. Yeah.
so those girls are making 20% when they sell these, because you'll see these deals, but these rapper guys have a $100,000 bar tab.
Yep.
Motherfucker grew up in the ghetto without shit, and he's spending $100,000 in a fucking bar.
Yeah, and in places like that, they're probably dividing up that money on the back end, though. That waitress might, let's say if she gets $2,000, that 10% of it goes to a door guy, 10% of it goes to the bartender who made the drink, 10% of it goes to the DJ, so that gets gobbled up on the backside. But yeah, that's all there.
That's
You're not getting
interesting.
away.
I read a book a long time ago, and it was about a door guy that worked at a strip club in Vegas. Confessions of a Las Vegas strip club or something. I can't remember what it was, but it was interesting. He was talking about the girls and how much money they would make, and the door guys how much they would get. And he told me one of the best jobs there was was the people that had the contract to clean the casinos or the strip clubs the next morning.
Yep, I bet.
Because they got to keep whatever they found on the floor.
No way.
Yes.
So if they found like a Rolex that fell off.
It ain't a Rolex that they're finding. It's fucking
Percocets and
$5,000 casino chips.
Oh, no
And the
shit.
chips. And he said they got to keep all that shit.
Drop
But the
it, shit.
guy comes in there and he's fucking with these girls and he got chips and the fucking
Right.
chip falls on the floor and it's dark and it's a $500 chip. And he's like, fucking I. And he said when they turned that lights on and shit, they got
Everything's
it.
there.
And there was a strip club somewhere in Vegas, and what they did was they put in a grilled floor.
So it'd fall through.
So it'd fall through, and they had it would all slide down to a deal. And
House always wins,
they-
baby.
they
Boy,
said
the
that's
house always
slick.
wins.
This was like a spearmint rhino type club, and they said they were making $10,000 to $50,000 a night off shit that would fall on the floor.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I've never heard of such thing. I
and
like the thought
it's
process
very
behind
smart.
that.
And
though.
then what would happen though is a guy in there, and he's a big baller trying to impress some stripper chick, and he drops $100 bill on the floor or something fall through. Well, he's too proudful
Yeah, you're not
to
gonna
say, "Hey,
ask
can you?
somebody.
I can't get my." They just didn't say shit about it. They said they would fucking just clean house every night. But one place had a cleaning service, and that was part of their contract. They got to keep whatever they found on the floor, and they cleaned it. It was a low, they didn't. We're not going to charge you near as much, but we get to keep what we find.
Yeah, we used to just have people clean the bars that would come in after the bar closed at 2:00 in the morning.
You wouldn't
you'd
have
let
to
them-
clean those as a bartender. You
Well,
wouldn't have to go.
you would to a certain extent, but they'd come in and like deep
Deep
clean
clean.
the floors and everything really well, and anyhow.
Because I've been to some 2 a.m. bathrooms in the bars, and it's scary.
No, they come in. We
and I'm
have them
thinking, this
come in.
poor bartender's been here all day, and now he's got to clean this fucking throw up off of this toilet. Like, they don't get paid enough.
We'd have
almost.
nighttime cleaning crews that were just you paid them and go ahead and drink off the taps while you were cleaning. That was like their pay.
I can't imagine drinking that much that you get.
Yeah.
I just, I'm
I was in-
telling you what.
I was in Puerto Vallarta when I was 21, 22 years old, and some high school kids were there on their senior trip. We were in college, and Tony, it was a bunch of us there. Well, Tony was there, where this kid came in, and he was one of those pale, pasty white kids that's kind of fat, and he's smoking some Marlboro Reds and having a wife beater on. You can tell he'd never been out in the sun in his life. And he's like, hell yeah, I'm going to drink these some bitches on the table. I'm going to put them out of business. I can drink so much. So he sat down, he started drinking. He was drinking some beers. And we'd been out most of the day. That was the first night they were there, and we'd been there a couple of days. Tony sat down. He said, do you mind if I drink with you, my friend? If you think you can keep up. Tony said, okay. Tony's like, have you ever done tequila shooters? And that kid goes, hell no, but I'll drink them. So Tony ordered tequila shooters for him. They did about 3 tequila shooters. Tony drank that poor fucking bastard under the table. And that kid, we didn't see for the next 3 days. He was so sick, he stayed in bed the whole time.
That would
But he
ruin
got
your trip.
sunburned and drunk. But he was one of those people, they think they can drink and they get this free labor. Well, fuck, that bar, by giving them, if they're cleaning the deal and they're giving them $30 in beer is all they're doing, those people think they're getting $300 worth of beer tonight.
I would like to know how much the resorts water down their shit, because I went to Sandals with my wife last year for our 10-year anniversary. We drank all day, and I never felt bad the next day.
Did
There
you
was
watch them pour it out of a bottle?
Yeah, like you'd order.
Yeah, but they water it down before it gets.
But
Yeah,
I
100%.
seen them watch where me and Michelle stay in Mexico all the time. I got a Crown and Coke, and I saw them pop the seal on one. Do you think they'd fake the seals on them?
I would.
I mean, I don't know why they would. I don't give two shits anyways. I, mean,
I never saw
but I'm not a big
anybody.
drinker
I
that
never
way.
saw anybody pop a seal.
I don't know the answer to if that's done or whatever.
But I mean, I
I'd
drank-
assume it's. I know it's done some places.
We
but I
both
don't
drank
know.
all day long, from the time we woke up, mimosas to beer, and then all those sugary shits, and then you'd switch to like whiskey at night and wine, and woke up every day just clear as a bell, ready to do it all over again.
Andy, you stole a conch shell. You were not sober.
I never said I wasn't drunk.
Okay.
I said I never felt bad.
Okay.
There was one day. No, that was the drunkest that we got. We went on this excursion and we drank rum punch all day from the Joe Knows tour. So we didn't get drunk at the resort. We got drunk on some other shit.
The guns, like in Vegas, they got Crown comes in a gun
Yep.
and everything. There's probably some watering down on that shit.
I wouldn't know.
But
but I tell you what, I guarantee you that there's some bars that you go into when you order high end liquor off the top shelf. That's just some other liquor in that bottle.
Oh, I'm sure.
I guarantee you.
I know that people get busted for that shit all the
Yes.
time.
That's a big deal too, isn't it? If a
big
bar
deal.
gets caught doing
Makes
that
you
shit.
look bad. I'm not a drinker.
Well,
so
no, I think it's against the law.
But
Yeah, it's against the law.
the
Yeah.
guys, the professional drunks that you have that come in there, and most of them are big Scotch drinkers. Do those guys, can they really tell the difference on a really high end Scotch and a medium end Scotch, you think?
Gosh, you know what? I'll tell you what. In the past 20 years of bartending, I don't think I've poured one fucking scotch. Dead serious.
Really?
No shit.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
Bourbons.
Bourbons?
So bourbons is the new scotch now. When
Yeah,
I was a
probably
kid
my
growing
dad
up,
was
scotch,
a scotch
that was
guy,
all
and shit,
scotch.
yeah. But,
Scotch is out and bourbon's in now.
yeah.
Can you think
Somebody
a guy
else-
can tell the difference
Yep.
between a Pappy and a good
Good.
bourbon? I don't know. A Crown Royal type.
Four Roses and a Pappy. Yeah, I think they could tell the difference.
So this is High West, and they make another bourbon. It's called Midwinter's Dram, maybe.
Yep.
And that the Midwinters is supposed to be like what you want to get if you can ever find it. But the same company makes that. I mean, it's not bad bourbon,
No, it's good.
but I think the Midwinters is like $200 a bottle.
Park City, Utah.
Yeah, that was like 40. So
It's reasonable.
I mean, there's such professionals out there that they can tell. Yeah, let me find it.
Well, there's a game that those distilleries play too. I'm trying to remember what the names were, but we'll say like a Woodford Reserve. If they have an overrun, they can't supply too much because it'll dilute the cost out there. So they'll rebottle it as whatever the next tier down is. But it's the same damn
the
stuff.
same stuff?
Exactly
A lot
the
of
same
those
stuff.
come out of the same major commercial distilling houses too. So
Like Eagle Rare is all done at Buffalo Trace, I think. I think that's a
I
distillery.
think you're right. Yeah.
And I think Weller also is done there.
So there's a Midwinter's Night Dram, I guess.
it's a
That's
dram.
a dram. That's a liquor
dram.
term.
Yeah. So, but it's made by High West right there.
Yep.
What made you buy this High West?
I saw this, and they didn't have that at the liquor store, so I
How
got
much-
the next best thing.
How much is that bottle?
It's like $40.
How much is that bottle?
It doesn't have a price. I think it's like $200.
You were going to buy a $200 bottle of whiskey?
I would, yeah.
Jesus Christ. I never thought that Andy would say that.
Why? You only have the boss guys here every once in a while, so I mean,
Where'd
Do
you
it.
stop at Specs?
No, it's great.
They had other $200 bottles of bourbon.
This
They
High
didn't
West
have this,
is
though.
great.
They had other $200 bottles of bourbon. If you want
I
to,
never saw
the
it.
Boss guys are only here once. I mean, you're saying so.
I wanted this though.
I mean-
and then they didn't have this, so I was like, well, that's same shit. So I'm going with the Mike way of thinking as, you know what? Probably had an overrun of Midwinter's
Yeah.
Night, and
Poured it in
they
there.
put it in there. So
When guys
good.
flying on a G6, you got to buy them a $200 bottle of bourbon.
I understand.
I did a decade of heavier drinking, and
A decade of heavier drinking.
yeah, it'd have been probably my 25 to 35-year-old run, and then probably in the about 40, I slowed down a lot, and for the past 6 or 7 years, practically non-existent.
Is alcoholism pretty popular with bartenders? They don't
That
drink
whole
at all.
industry, yeah, they either think alcohol's the devil because we're real close to it, or they're just head over heels working in the industry, and that's all they do.
So it's $250 there. What does that mean? Like, why is it $150 right there? Is that so? That's retail.
750
Yeah.
milliliters.
Suggested
Per
retail.
750 milliliters, whatever that is.
It's a 750 mil. That depends on the bottle size. The other one on Drizzy.
Why in the hell is that $139.99?
Huh?
High West
The
Midwinter
wooden
is
cork.
$39.99. No, two
No,
over.
two over.
One more over.
Oh, right. Four grand. I don't know.
Dream Act 1. It's going to be a
Oh.
first cut, and it's probably not worth any.
I'm
of it.
sorry, but I'm not paying $4,000 for a bottle of whiskey.
No, so even through all my drinking, I was a bourbon guy through most of that, and I've worked in distilleries and everything, and I tell you what, I'm not snooty when it comes to it.
You're not.
No, Jim Beam, Maker's Mark, I'm just fine.
Makers is good.
Maker's is good.
Bourbon's popular now.
Oh boy, is it
Like-
ever? That's why you got this stuff.
That's
going
why
on.
Pappy's cost so much because it's just
All of it. I mean, you go
when
in there-
when you first was bartending, Pappy's wasn't but $100 bottle of bourbon probably.
yeah, it wasn't even really a name on the shelf.
Yeah, and what is it now? $7,500 a bottle.
It's ridiculous.
Have you drank Pappy's?
I've had it once.
Does it? Can you tell the difference? I couldn't tell the difference between Kentucky Deluxe
know-
and Pappy's because I don't drink ever.
Yeah, I think that you just know you're doing something special at the moment,
Mhm.
right? You know what I mean?
So if I come in and ordered a Pappy's with Coke, you would shun me.
I think you're a fucking idiot.
Have you ever had Pappy's, Mike?
Yeah.
You have?
Yep. I've had the 12, and I think it's a 15 or 18.
Does it taste
say
different to you
18.
than anything else does?
No, but I wouldn't claim to be a bourbon snob. I think everybody just kind of has their own flavor profile.
Yeah,
Like, do
there's
you
a
like the
certain-
vanilla in it? You know, kind of are you maker's guy? Do you
That's what
like
Makers is. It's got a vanilla, don't it?
a little bit, but there's a Texas one that has a really strong vanilla strength to it, and
Which
like
one
that's
is
not
it?
my jam. One with
we
the
have
big
that
TX
together
on it.
recently?
TXU?
Yeah, I think so.
That was that one we just had together
TX.
a month ago at the
Yeah.
place that was Sean brought it up.
Yeah, and it's not bad, but it's
No,
not
it was
my
really
thing.
interesting though. It was
Yeah.
a really usually I don't taste something that's a bourbon and go that's really unique. There's something special there, and whatever that one was, our buddy brought it up to our little duck farm camp,
If it had TX on it, it's TX. I think is the name of it. TX
and it
bourbon.
was really unique. It was really good.
Like I said, I don't.
Different, just different. You know,
My favorite bourbon drink, I don't want to drink bourbon on ice and stuff, is there's a place we eat in Abilene called Copper Creek, and they have a thing called Creek Water.
okay,
And it's bourbon and 7-Up, and they have orange slices in it.
perfect.
And it's good. It's a good drink. I like it.
Yep.
And I like Moscow Mules, which is not a bourbon drink,
No.
but I like Moscow Mules. And
Mules
I
are
had
good.
I had one in Michigan that I really liked. And it was an orange mule, and it had orange vodka in it, and orange slices and ginger beer. But I've decided ginger beer is what makes the mule taste.
Well, of course,
it's because some ginger beers are really, really strong, and some of them are. Gosling's
Some are
makes
really
it really
sweet.
good.
What Gosling's good. That's the one that I like.
That's my favorite. I've bought up this Fever Tree, but I don't like it near like I do the
bunch of them.
Goslings.
Yeah, some of them are really sharp. You know, that spicy sharp.
That's
ginger.
Fever
Some
Tree
are
is.
sweeter.
Yes, Gosling's kind of in between for me. But you want to look like a pussy, you go to a bar and you ask for just a ginger beer on ice, and they look at you like, this fucker's either an alcoholic and got a really big problem, or he's a pussy.
Yeah,
I just don't like alcohol that much. I don't mind one drink, but I don't want to put myself in a situation where I have to drive and have 2 drinks. So I have one drink and that's it.
well, if you rode your bike up and then you ordered a ginger beer, I know you were an alcoholic.
Yeah, or a meth.
That motherfucker don't have a license.
Yeah, or a meth head.
Yeah.
Because in all small towns in Texas, if you see a guy on a Huffy, he's got a meth problem.
Yeah, there's something going on.
Yeah.
there was a guy in town and he had the blow and go.
Oh yeah,
And he was, he was getting his like oil change or something, and like he wanted to hide it from like so he was like leaning over real far, and then he'd come up and it'd fucking crank up. I was like, you, but he was in like a short little car, so like I could see down into everything he was doing. Like, I know what you've done. You got the old blow and go.
Whiskey's a horrible, 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 evil tool. It's a great tool, but man, there's more people have drinking problems than they do anything
Oh,
else.
100%. It's ruined alcohol has ruined so many lives, like it's not even a close comparison to anything else.
nope. I've had a discussion with Brandon recently, and that there's a man who studies the chemical compounds and drugs and how they interact with the body, what receptors, like just the chemical and biological actions that take place within a drug, and then he studies the drug.
And alcohol is a drug. Like, I hate to break it to
So
anybody
is
that's out
caffeine,
there.
right?
So is anything that
Sure.
alters your normal homeostasis state of mind.
So he considers, and he's a pretty big deal on the studying of narcotics, and he considers alcohol the lowest grade drug in the world. And what they do is they rate it by volume of drug needed for desired effect, damage done to the body, and rate of dependency. So your addictive rate.
Yep.
So you have to drink gallons of it compared to a tiny bit of methamphetamine or something, which would be like a pin drop of something. It does more damage to your brain, liver, and cells than most other drugs that we consider really bad.
Right.
And it has a huge rate of destruction and dependency.
Yeah.
So it's, as far as a low grade, God, I probably pissed off half of the people.
That's all right. I mean, it's true, though. I mean,
But
you're just
it's
talking.
I'm drinking it. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
against it. But,
No, I mean, and you served it
a really-
forever.
yeah. It's a low grade drug.
But what's interesting is that it's one that is socially acceptable.
Super bizarre.
And it's like, just look at the studies done. I mean, it
really
ruins
weird.
lives
All the
lives
time.
everywhere. There's so many people that are addicted to it. There's so many people that have been in accidents because of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
alcoholic mother in my home.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and it's just, but that's the one that America was like,
This is our drug.
we'll
buddy.
get in bed with this. We're good.
Mhm.
But anything else, it's like, no, we can't
I mean,
go down
everything
that
within
road.
reason, right? And if you keep your head on straight and
I am of the
To each their own.
everything
I'm
in
not knocking
moderation.
the drug by any means.
Anything in moderation.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, too much water will kill you.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
just everything in moderation. Just have fun. Don't go overboard. Be a respectable human being.
Yep.
And get up to work on Monday.
Mon-
Do what you're going to
Monday,
do.
Tuesday,
Monday
Wednesday,
sucks.
Thursday, and Friday.
Yes, yeah. But, be ready
Yeah,
to
of
go
course.
on Monday.
Yeah.
Do you know a successful person that only works 40 hours a week? Because I don't. Now, I know some people that are uber wealthy and
they're
uber
past
successful
that.
now, and they don't have to. No more. They got somebody they're paying that's making a good living that does that. But I don't know anybody that just works Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 that's successful.
Some people look at the day like, man, I've got to get through 8 hours. And some people look at it and go, fuck, there's only 8 hours to get through what I need to get done.
Right.
And that just doesn't seem like enough most of the time.
Like last night when we left here, it was 8:30. And it was
You left before I did. Yeah, I think I left about 8.
Was they still getting the hay off the road when you come through there?
Mm-mm.
I thought there was a wreck on the road. They had 2 big bales. Did you see the bales of hay?
Yeah, they were just pulling out because I'm slowing down. Like there's a truck and trailer on the side
Yes.
of the car. I'm like, oh
I
shit.
thought, fuck, somebody had a wreck. And I think, shit,
Yeah.
Michelle just left. And I just got off the phone with her, and she was at home. And and that's what I could think of. I thought, shit, I hope one of my guides hasn't come. I was worried. Like, y'all okay? Oh, we're trying to get some hay off the road. That'd be a fucking mess. I had to screw about. But anyways, I left at 8:30 last night, 8 o'clock, whatever time it was. But and I don't work. I'm not slinging a sledgehammer all day long. But your day starts at 6 o'clock for me, or 6:30, and it's 8, 9 o'clock before I get done doing my shit. That's a normal day, 7 days a week. I don't think nothing of it because it's I like doing what I do.
That's your life.
That's right. That's
Well, what's
my
your
life.
day in May?
In May, though, my days are short a lot of times. But I come to work. I come to the office every day. I come to the office every single day, 5 days a week.
It's
I'm here.
banker's hours during.
Sometimes it's not even banker's hours. Sometimes it's
Right.
Michelle's, the grandkids are here in the pool. They want you to come home. I come home at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
But I come to work every single day, and I don't have to that time of year. But anybody I know that's successful, whatever they do, these farmers and ranchers that are successful here work all the fucking time. And it's everything. I don't care if you're a banker, an accountant, own a plumbing company. You put in your time, and those are the guys that are successful. I don't know anybody that's successful that only works a couple hours a day. An OnlyFans girl, maybe. That's about it.
But Zach and I were talking about it going to the field today. I mean, it's just like, you guys do what you have to do at Boss to make sure that the customers are happy. And if that means staying a couple hours later, then, it's just what we'll do. Or a little bit late. It's just come in early, stay late.
Yeah.
Keep the people happy. Keep shit moving. But like with the podcast and stuff, like I was telling him, like during this time of year, the days are pretty long because like we'll do this and then like it's got to get edited and
you do all that editing?
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 10:30 or 11 o'clock.
Computer?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just something you have to have a very accepting home life
Yep.
to fall into it because like if my wife was, well, you're not spending time with the kids. It's like, well, I'm doing something. So she is accepting of it. Zach, from what it sounds like talking to him this morning, his wife is pretty cool with, because he's like, I have to, sometimes
He's
I
got
have to,
2 young kids at home.
I take emails home. Like I work at home and then, their emails keep coming. And he said he has a hard time.
The phones keep coming. Yeah,
He said he has a hard time turning the phone off.
he does.
So he's like, it's just something that I've got to work with, but it's what's necessary this time of year. Cause like he was saying, Boss, like you're extremely busy. October, November, you kind of peak, and then
right now,
peaking. Yeah. Right about right
top
now.
of the bell.
Right. Top of the bell curve right now. And he's like, it's just a wave that you have to ride.
Yep.
But it beats the alternative.
Yeah.
You're not making all this shit just to sit on.
No.
Man, when I had an 8 to 5 job, you know what I had? No money.
Well, and you had nothing to look forward to either.
Well, I look forward to a lot of shit. But I was young and didn't have any responsibilities.
No,
I look
but
forward to going out
everybody-
Thursday night,
if-
Friday night, Saturday night.
If that
Sunday
was
night.
if that was still your life,
Oh, it would suck.
right?
I would eat a bullet.
Because
It sucked.
different people have different levels of want out of what they put in and what they get out of things.
I didn't know how
know.
poor and miserable I was until I got older. And then I look back and I thought, man, I was fucking poor and shit. I was a loser.
The last time Lee was here, we talked to him, and he said, it's in retrospect how good poverty looked. Poverty looked so good in retrospect. He was like, me and my wife, it was a 1-bedroom apartment. We lived on the floor. We would pile up we would pile up our clothes, and that's
Listen
what we
to
slept
music
on.
they
Listen
listen to music
listen
while they
to-
sat on the ground because they bought that radio.
Right, they
Remember
bought
that
they bought
record
the
player?
they bought the record player with their. They took out a loan, I think, to get the record
Yes,
player.
I think you're right. We talked about that when we were up at the island.
Yeah,
but
and
that's-
he's like, how good that was in retrospect. Like, we had nothing, but we were totally happy with one another. We're totally happy with having nothing. Hung up sheets in the windows so that we could
Yeah,
have
there's
curtains.
There's a point to excess isn't going to make you any happier, but there sure is a point that having a little bit sure ain't going to keep you sad
Right.
or
No,
struggling. And
that's-
when it comes down to it, there's like people say, well, they're poor and why can't they just put a little bit away to make or work a little bit more? But to get ahead when you're so far behind, like to put away would be for their worry is not 10 years from now what the bank
Right.
account look like. It's 10 minutes from now. How am I going to feed my kids?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next after that, I've got 4 hours and then it's going to be dinner. And in 3 days, it's going to be the electric payment. So their measure of like looking into the future is really to the next need.
Right.
And those needs come up multiple times a day where we can, once you get comfortable enough that you can not think about the needs and you got that covered, then you can say, what do I want?
Yeah, when you don't have
How
to,
can I work toward this? And then you can look at your future. But if you're in low income situation, man, it's got to be tragically difficult to.
I've been there before.
I have too. I mean,
When-
my wife and I spent years paycheck
Yeah.
to paycheck.
And when you're trying to pay your electric bill, you think,
Raising
"God dang it,
kids."
kids need braces.
Yeah.
We got to pay a $500 electric bill, and we want to do this.
You're
we
making
gotta buy this."
decisions on what you can and can't. What am
you're
I going to do
rob Peter
without?
to pay Paul every day.
Yep. What am I going to
Yep.
do without to make
Yep.
this happen now? I need now.
God dang, Michelle, why'd you spend $180 at Walmart?
It's tough.
It was a big deal.
It's
And-
a real tough place to be.
and I think people grow from that. It's a hard thing to do. But when you're in that situation, it's real simple for someone to say, oh, you got to save a little money and do this. Yeah, it's real simple when you have money.
Mm-hmm.
When you're deciding if you're going to go out and eat dinner and go to a concert and go vacation or do this, compared to someone that's trying to pay their family and pay their bills. If you look back at it, you're being a real asshole to those people when you don't realize how.
Yeah.
You don't need to give them shit, but
No.
you got to be sympathetic to people that don't that have those problems.
It's a poverty can be a trap.
Yes, it is, and it's hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
And the people that are stuck in those 8 to 5, there's nothing to ever get. I tell Michelle all the time. I said, God, what do they look forward to in life? What? And then when I was poor, I thought, man, I don't remember being miserable. I was just poor.
But you were by yourself too, though.
Yeah, and I had a lot of miserable poor time together, but it was fun.
Yeah,
but I
but-
was never miserable. That's right.
Everything gets ratcheted up. Like when you're looking at, I couldn't imagine looking at my 2 kids and being like, there's nothing in the cupboard. There's nothing in the refrigerator. What am I going to do?
That's got to be a horrible feeling. That's right. You write a hot check for buy groceries is what you do. And I've dealt with some people in at the legal system that have done some shit like that, and I'm sympathetic to them.
Yeah.
But it's not the people at the grocery store. They don't owe your kids $300 worth of
No,
shit.
they don't.
That's not on them. That's
Right.
your fault. Right. But you need to work to try to fix this. I'm very sympathetic towards that, but it's not anybody else's. And nobody else has to pay your bill. A person I know, and I'm not going to mention this person's name or nothing, was so happy the other day because they got a raise on their food stamps to $1,100 a month. There's like 4 of them in their family, and I was so happy for these people because they legitimately needed this. And it was a big thing. I mean, it was a moment of crying almost.
What? No, he's good. But what do we do to fix that? Because there's too many people that don't ever leave that. It's like we were talking not too long ago about like single mothers. Before Jeff married my mom, she was a single mom with 2 kids, working her way through college.
Yep.
And there were programs in place for situations like what we had.
Mm-hmm.
She could have easily just stayed on that system and not moved forward at all. So I agree that there should be things in place to help people that need help, but it shouldn't be there forever.
Yeah, it
should be a temporary thing.
Yep.
But I don't know how we get people to take advantage of these things when they need them, but then get off of them when they don't need them anymore. Or
Yeah,
I think it
you
robs
don't
a
want
lot.
to create a dependency.
Well, I think it robs a lot of people of their independence, and I think a lot of people become dependent on these things. And they're like, I've got my basic needs covered. I'm good. I'll just stay on this program forever.
Well, your mom would not have been a good poor person. I can tell you that much.
Well,
But no,
set up-
but there's a lot of people that are like, I got everything covered. I'm good.
yeah, well, it's set up that way. I mean, right? It's an infinity loop.
Right.
Because it's hard to get off of it, right? It's automatically renewing. You'd almost have to put in a trap door of like, there's a hard stop every 30, 60, 90 days, 180, some sort of hard stop. And like, listen, unless you show progress of doing something, it's going to go away. Because it needs to be there for the people that need it.
Right.
But the problem is the majority of those people probably don't need it, right? They're just doing it out of convenience. They have completely able-bodied people that can go do work. They just choose not to because they're content with what they're doing.
Well, I don't know. Is there a point? I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, I'm getting this $1,100 for that. I get rent reduction. The kids get free lunches. If I go to work for $11 an hour, $40 a week, I can't afford all this.
Right.
Because they're going to take a third of this in taxes.
Right.
And now I'm paying for gas to go to and from work. So going to work all of a sudden becomes
A pay cut.
a pay cut.
Yeah.
And that it's just something that we need to work out as a society and a country, how this system isn't working.
The wages
God,
have
there's
stayed
no
the
shortage
same.
of fucking work. I'll tell you that. Every
No.
place you go, there's help wanted.
Well, and
Everybody's understaffed.
Yeah.
and if you look, the wages have stayed the same since 1970s. But housing has quadrupled almost.
Housing, gas, onions,
Yeah.
eggs.
Well, eggs
yeah.
are $7 a dozen right now. Isn't that what we figured out the other day?
$8
$8 a dozen.
We were
Who the
paying-
fuck can
I was
afford bacon
paying
and eggs now?
$4 the other day, $4 a dozen. I flipped my lid at duck camp last week when I brought them in. Like, these are 99 cents, dude.
Yeah.
I was surprised at that, and I paid almost $1.60 for a white onion.
Jeez.
One raw white onion. I'm like, what
What am I buying
in
here?
the world is going on that you guys pay $8 for eggs down here?
Yeah. Dozen eggs.
We
Well,
have
I don't,
$4 up north.
because I have no idea what I pay for anything. I'm not a price
See,
shopper.
but they get
I
y'all
don't
on
have a
gas
clue.
up north, so they get us on eggs down here.
Okay.
It all equals out.
Yeah, and then you're not allowed to keep an egg or a chicken at your house if you live in the city.
Oh, you can't? It's illegal?
In my town, you can't keep chickens.
Isn't that interesting? Isn't that funny? So
We were on a chicken committee years ago to try and get them to
allow chickens?
Allow them, and it would be like only hens, no roosters. If they crow, they go. Just a couple backyard roosters.
yeah.
Great for bugs and great for fertilizer, and the city wouldn't have anything of it. And they really pissed me off because they brought in their expert, which was a vet, and he said that having chickens will drive up a rodent problem in your neighborhood because of the chicken feed that will be left all over. And I was like, listen, motherfucker, I've got 5 bird feeders in my house, and they're all filled with seed, and those birds kick seed out in piles. There's more on the ground than there's in the feeder at any given time.
Right.
And have you ever seen a chicken eat a fucking mouse? Because they do. They're omnivores, man.
Yes, they'll eat anything.
And
that
they
comes
eat
runs
everything.
across.
There ain't no leftover chicken feed on the ground.
Right.
So that's a bullshit story.
They want
Let's
control.
Back that up. Yeah,
That's exactly
want
what they
control.
want.
But
They want
if
you buying
went
those
50
$8
years
eggs.
ago, you could drive down that same town of mine in Michigan and drive down the alleys, and you'll see these old chicken coops up and down because every house had chickens.
Because it wasn't grocery stores like there is
Yeah, it wasn't
now.
grocery stores, refrigeration. Well, not the refrigerate eggs, but
People ate fried
they
yard
do
bird.
now. We pay to refrigerate eggs when you don't have to refrigerate eggs and butter, but
Chicken
whatever.
is the most valuable tool in case we ever had the atomic anything go on, EMP or whatever happened. It's protein that self-produces.
Incredible.
You can eat a chicken or you can eat an
You
egg
can eat the chicken or you can.
all the time.
And
It's,
the egg shows up every day, and it's in its own package.
yep. The government is wanting you to now register your gardens from your house.
And register what you plant.
Why do they give
how
two
much.
shits? I ain't telling them shit.
But
why-
they're going to
why?
disguise it under the green deal. They want to see how much carbon and shit you're putting
Yep.
out and fertilizer and all that stuff. That's how they're going to
I'm
disguise
so
it.
sick of this shit.
Germany is doing away with any kind of fertilizer. Now, is that to go against Russia because Russia sells all of the stuff to them, or is it's more control shit?
But it goes back to the Dutch farmers and everything that they've done to them. Like the Dutch farmers are saying, we can't produce with the emissions level that you've proposed. We can't do it. Might as well just stay at home. And I mean, they're revolting now. So
It's
I don't
crazy.
know. Have you followed any of that, Mike? You're smarter than all of us here, and like you're staying quiet over there, and that's not usually good. We want the smart people talking.
Yeah, I mean, Europe is its own kind of mess. I think we have enough going on in the U.S. I haven't followed it that closely, but it doesn't surprise me at all that they're trying to regulate that stuff. The interesting part is European farmers do not give a single shit. I mean, go look up YouTube videos. Like if somebody pulls some shady stuff, they hook up to a manure spreader, they drive downtown, spray it all over the Capitol building, and it's done on a regular basis. So if they are really pulling some strings, it won't last very long.
The country people are the one to be the last one standing.
Right.
I mean, that's what it's going to be. If you register our gardens, big fucking deal. You know, you come out here and you start fucking with someone's garden, someone's going to shoot your ass.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's going to come
you're
down
the
to.
fertilizer.
Yes, but if you're in the country, I don't give a shit. It's from Brownsville, Texas, to Minot, North Dakota, from sea to shining sea. The people in the country are going to be able to survive.
Yeah.
You know, we may be a little bit hungrier in the wintertime, but we'll have proteins to eat. And we may not have to learn how to can again and stuff. But in the summer times, we got crops. We got wild pigs. We can survive. The people in the cities ones are going to have a lot of problems. But I don't understand why they want us to the garden deal just throws me for that's major control
Why do you
issues.
think?
It's control. But it's just
Well, it's because
it's control.
I think that they know that shit is going to pop off
Yes.
before too long.
Yes.
And they're going to know where to look.
Yeah.
These people are self-reliant. Well, now, obviously, if you're that self-reliant, you might not have registered your garden. But if you did register your garden, they would know where to go start off by looking. I think things might be coming to a head a lot sooner than what we
This Twitter deal's a
hope.
big thing. But you start coming for people's fucking carrots and radishes and tomatoes, and if that's what I'm feeding my family, and you're going to take what I've grown for my family, there's going to be some bloodbaths coming up. I mean, that's the last deal, you know. And if you look back in time,
300 years.
guys, close that door.
300 years is all they last.
No, not talking about that. But if you go back to 1950s, everybody had a garden.
Yeah, everybody had a garden.
Everybody had a garden.
Chickens.
Everybody had chickens. They had gardens. People starting to do that again, and they don't like that. You can't do it in big cities, but you can do it everywhere in the country. More and more people. We don't have chickens yet, but we're fixing to touch that deal issue.
That big city thing's going to be a thing of the past, man.
Yeah.
There's no
You
reason.
think everybody's coming to the country?
There's no reason to anymore because we can do all this
remote
work
Remote
from
shit.
remote. You don't have to be in one place. Everybody doesn't have to be crammed in. And that
I mean,
shit's
tell me
over
why
with.
you have to be in an office, right? Even if you have an office job, you don't have to be there to do anything.
No.
Right.
A phone works everywhere, and so does that computer.
Exactly.
Unless you're manufacturing something in
Right.
that room, it doesn't have to be there. I was at a meeting about 10, 12 years ago. Obama was still in office, however long that's been. And we were with a grant writer, the lady that wrote grants for our city. I was mayor. And we were working on the grant for something. And she told me, she goes, Jeff, this was really scary. She goes, I went to a meeting the other day, and it was with TNRCC, which is the people that they regulate water, clean water and stuff in Texas and stuff. And she was in a meeting with TNRCC, and they were a meeting with OSHA or the EPA. And it was over water systems in towns, and they were trying to do with water. And she goes, I was in a meeting, and she goes, someone that was a cabinet member of Obama's staff said, our goal is to have everyone live in high-rise towers. We regulate what goes in, we regulate who comes out, we regulate everything they eat, drink, blah, blah. And that's the goal that these people would like to have one day. And I don't understand why. What's their goal to do? I mean,
Ultimate control.
but what do you get with control? Would you rather not have worker bees that produce taxes for you? Because I would. If I was owned the United States, do I want people fucking under me that I got to give them a place to eat and feed and blah, 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 and they're going to work? Or do I want people working and doing their own thing, making a lot of money and sending me 10% taxes or 50% taxes?
Yeah, I don't want to farm people or house people.
No. What do you want to do?
Live on my own and not worry about what the fuck people do.
That's right. But if you were headed, I don't understand what their
I don't
end
see
result
what they could be
either.
getting at.
I don't either. That's what floors me. All this control, but what do they want to control? You have the greatest nation in the world that produces taxes. All this global bullshit. Do you want fucking Ethiopia where fucking people are eating dirt over there and they have nothing with flies on their face because they're starving to death? Or do you want people living in Manhattan making $1 million a year trading stocks and something? I want people that are making money and profit. That's where your tax dollars are. You're not making a fucking thing off of knob over there in Ethiopia.
But why is Ethiopia like Ethiopia?
Because it doesn't rain and they're not educated.
But why?
Why aren't they educated?
No. Why Ethiopia? The blueprint is out on how to be a successful country. Why are countries not successful? Why doesn't every country just follow what the United?
Corporate corruption and greed is why.
Why doesn't every country that is a third world country just follow the blueprint of America?
Because they didn't have people. They didn't overthrow their government. It's corruption. It's been that way for thousands and thousands of years.
So that's it. So
and they
that's
don't have
your
resources.
answer.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest problem is like, what's Ethiopia? What do they have to offer the world?
Yeah,
Nothing, right?
They've got some diamonds or something, but they don't have much.
And the only thing we offer the world is sell them war machines. We don't make anything.
Yeah, we got grains and we got oil and we got gas and we have everything.
But what do we do with? We don't.
When Trump was here, we're taking care of ourselves though. We don't have to.
We're importing grains. We're importing oil.
But we don't have to. But we don't have to.
But we do.
But we
We
can
do
buy.
have to because we don't have enough because we're not allowed to fucking do it here.
Well, but we were on that path again in 18. We were not having to. We weren't having to. We took care of our own oil needs.
But
we're
China-
the biggest user of fuels
China is a great world power, and they're locking their citizens down. Why are they locking their citizens down?
because they're losing their citizens because of all the new technology and shit. And these people know that there's something else out there. That's the things that we have that they're dealing with. Colonialism shut down all of Africa for hundreds and hundreds of years. The King of England and stuff. They've had a thumb on these people. They didn't let them do shit. And they never got to use their natural resources. What'd we do? We fucking kicked them fucking British fuckers' asses. And that's why America become what we did.
But what about China? I mean, they're locking their citizens down.
China
They're welding doors shut so that the citizens will stay in these high-rise buildings and they drop food in on them.
Controlling them.
what's the end
But
game?
why?
What's
but
the?
that just goes back to what you were talking about earlier. Why is it?
There's some reason to get something out of the back end of that, and what could
Right.
it possibly be?
I don't. That's what.
Why
I don't,
would China shut everything down and start putting their citizens in
'Cause
these
the
big
people
apartment
Popula-
buildings?
Population reduction.
Yeah, and their people are speaking out. But China in World War II was inferior to Japan. Japan was using them like a fucking whipping boy. They haven't always been. The United States.
I'm not going that far back. I'm going back to a week ago.
I know, but I'm just telling you, the United States broke away from England, the colonialism, and we took over our country, and we built this world power. We can feed ourselves. We are self-sustained. Those other places,
Until the Fed got involved.
right?
When they made the Fed, it all went to shit in the 1930s. That's when the spiral happened.
Well, and
Have
we're
you
catching
seen-
up to the end of it.
Hold
now.
on. Have you seen the conspiracy with the Titanic?
It's 4:15.
Okay, I understand. Have you seen the conspiracy with the Titanic?
Yeah, so the Fed guys were on there that they killed. Was it a Rothschild and
it was so J.P. Morgan, I think,
yes.
owned the Titanic. The Rothschilds were on it. They were against the Fed. There was Rothschilds and another wealthy. There
was 3 or 4 different guys on there.
There was 3 or 4 prominent families in America at the time of the Titanic.
I think
3 of the 4 were on it.
Astor was on there too. I think.
Astor was on it.
Yes.
They were 3 of the 4 were against the Fed. J.P. Morgan was for the Fed. J.P. Morgan owned the Titanic. 10 minutes before the Titanic set sail, J.P. Morgan said, "I can't go." And the Titanic went down, and so did Astor,
Jacob Astor's.
Rothschild, and somebody else. And then after that, all the opposition to the Federal Reserve was gone. And now we have the Federal Reserve.
We can finish up.
Audit
We got
the
to get.
Fed.
Audit
Send
the
it
Fed.
with
Audit the Fed. All
Audit
right.
the Fed.
Been a
All
great
right.
podcast.
Yes, we've covered a lot. I appreciate you guys. It's been a pleasure having y'all. We got to go scout.
Thanks for having us in your house.
Yeah,
Yes,
thanks.
sir. Bye. Bye, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out all of our wonderful sponsors. Go check out Boss Shot Shells for all your shot shell needs. Get lead out of the environment. We got Boss, Dive Bomb Industries, Mossberg, Pacific Calls, Gundog Outdoors, Shin Gear Waders, Lucky Duck, Looking Glass Podcast, Hunt Proof App, Alpha Outdoor Specialties, Bangtail Whiskey, Stanfield Hunting Outfitters, Dirty Duck Coffee, Ducks Unlimited, and Double T British Kennels. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Boss Guys in-house with us, and it is a fun episode. We hope that you enjoy it, and go check them out, BossShotShells.com. It's time for you to start shooting bismuth.